I want to make you aware of two laws that were not enacted that would have gave you more protections when dealing with debt collectors. And this is very important information because I'm going to tell you what these laws would have done to protect you and also how you need to be able to move forward dealing with these debt collectors in the future. The first one is Comprehensive Debt Collection Improvement Act, H.R. 2547. This was an actual bill that did not get passed in Congress. And the second one is Securing Consumers Against Misrepresentation Debt Act, and it's called the Scam Act. So now, let's go through what each of them would have done. The objective of the Comprehensive Debt Collection Improvement Act, H.R. 2547, the objective was to expand consumer protections in the debt collection process and restrict abusive practices by debt collectors. The key provisions: enhance protections for consumers, prohibit debt collectors from contacting consumers through electronic means like email, text without consent. That was a key provision, without consent. Now they can do it without your consent. And then increasing penalties for violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FDCPA. The relief for specific groups: prohibit debt collections on medical debts within 1 year of the debt being incurred. So to give people some time to be able to recover, especially when you're going through medical stuff. Some of the times you need some time to get back on your feet. Restricting debt collections on debt owed by service members or veterans for predatory financial practices. So these predatory type loans, payday loans, some of these other loans that are out there from these fintech companies where they get people, just type in your bank account information. They do a scan on that. They don't even look at the individual's credit. And then they end up giving them a predatory loan. And we, in my office, we call these like a debt mountain, because it's going to be hard for people to be able to get out of those types of loans. Even if you pay on them, you'll be paying on them forever, and it'll seem like the principal amount will never go down. Transparency requirements mandates clearer disclosures to consumers about their rights during the debt collection process. The next one is protection from court actions. Limit the ability of debt collectors to sue for time-barred expired debt. And this is crazy. They can't do it, but what's happening to a lot of people is that people are not responding to the debt collection lawsuits, and they're allowing these debt collectors to actually get judgments for debt that is past the time-barred period. That's time barred, where they can't even legally take you to court. They can't even legally make you pay on the debt because it's past statute of limitations. But because people don't know their rights, they're allowing debt collectors to be able to go through this. The statute, it did pass the House of Representatives and it did not advance to the Senate. So now the next one is Securing Consumers Against Misrepresentation, Scam Debt Act, H.R. 8196. The objective was to empower consumers and protect them from predatory and deceptive debt collection practices. Now, you might be saying, well, we already have the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, so why do we even have to deal with another act to be able to fight something that should already be in place? Now, this is my opinion on it. My opinion on it is that there's a lot of gray areas in the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and even if they were to enact this, I still don't believe that it would have protected people, because this is what's happening, is that you can say something a different way, which debt collectors can say something a different way to avoid the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. That's why I always say the straightest way to dealing with a debt collector, everybody else does it like this. The straightest way is to deal with the debt collector. The straightest line to a solution, deal directly with the debt collector. And I'm not talking about go there and capitulate and say you're going to pay the debt. No, I'm talking about fight back using every law that is available to you and every option that is available to you to making them, to challenge them on the documentation, allowing them to be able to collect on that debt. And there's a specific way to do that. If you don't know how to do it, you're just throwing debt validations at them and stuff like that, and they're just laughing and saying we don't have to do anything about this because they're not even approaching this the right way. So, key provisions, debt verification of debt, and I just said it. Why are people having so much problem when you know you have a right to verify, validate a debt? So why are so many people having problems getting debt collectors to validate and verify debt? Is because it's not being done the right way. So it says here, and this didn't even make it to a vote in Congress. It was knocked out in committee. So it says require debt collectors to prove clear written evidence of a debt's legitimacy before pursuing collection or legal action. So here we go right here. Sorry about that. Here we go right here. As it stands right now, debt collectors can send you a letter stating, without getting all of the proper documentation and proving any legitimacy before sending you that letter or before doing any legal action. They can do that right now legally. So that means that you have to actually fight back against them and force them to do what this law would have actually, if it was enacted, would have had forced them to do. So right now the door is wide open, and it's wide open for the foreseeable future. That key provision right there, by not having to have any written evidence of the debt's legitimacy. Sorry about that. I'll just read it again. Debt collectors can come after you without getting evidence of the debt's legitimacy before pursuing collection or legal action against you. The next key provision that they wanted to have in that law was prohibit debt collectors from initiating lawsuits without sufficient documentation to prove the validity of the debt. The next thing is they wanted to increase access to information for consumers about their rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. The next thing they wanted to do is they wanted to put limitations on collection activities, ban debt collectors from reporting debts to credit bureaus or taking legal action until the consumer has been fully informed about their rights. And as I stated, that this was stuck in committee and did not move forward. It did not move forward. So what are we going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to fight back, or are you going to just let debt collectors do what they're going to do? Are you going to get the accurate information on what to do, or are you just going to just throw darts at the target and hope that you hit the target? And I was on a phone call yesterday with people, with companies that I consult with, attorneys that I consult with, some of the ones that want to be involved with this work. I admit that there's not a lot of attorneys that want to be involved with this work because they're like, if people are struggling to pay their bills, they're going to struggle to pay me as an attorney. That's how they're feeling about it. And I just flat out said, well, then people need to just be able to get to the information. And on that call, I was like, you got to be careful about disclosing the information that you're going to give people to fight out there, just blasting it out there, because guess what debt collectors do? They see that information and then they start to maneuver on the way that they respond. So see, let me give you a little bit of history. I've been on here since, I believe, 2013 on YouTube and on various platforms, sharing how we fight back against debt collectors. And I started seeing from the lawsuits that were sent to me, from the debt collection letters that were sent to me, that they are actually making adjustments based off of what I've said on my channel, which makes it harder for people to be able to fight back against debt collectors, because that's like sitting there and you're playing cards, you playing spades, and you letting the people that you're playing spades against see your hand. And I've decided in 2025, I'm not going to let debt collectors see our hands. When I say our hands, I mean mine and your hands. I don't want to let them see our hands. So, if you need help with your credit, visit thecreditrepairshop.com, watch video What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, you can grab my 3-pack of letters to fight back, or you can have us do an exclusive certified debt validation letter, and we will put it in there in a way that they will respond, and it'll get the job done. It'll start the process of either getting the debt where they're going to cease collection, or it's going to move to the next phase on their response on what needs to be responded to make sure that they have all of the appropriate documentation to continue coming after you for that debt. If you have debt collectors who are suing you in court, go to my website, go into the live chat, and contact us so we can help you with that. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.